This is a very, very sad day for the Fresno Police Department, the citizens of Fresno, and the law enforcement profession.
We continue to follow breaking news. The second highest ranking officer in Fresno arrested in a federal drug conspiracy investigation. That is our top story tonight at 6. Good evening. I'm Graciela Moreno.
And I'm Warren Armstrong.
Now, the stunning news came down late this afternoon during a news conference by the FBI and ATF in Fresno. 3
other people are also in custody tonight. Deputy Chief Keith Foster is facing charges for distributing and possessing oxycodone, marijuana, and heroin. We have live team coverage tonight of this breaking news. We start with Action News reporter Rick Montanez live at the FBI office in Northwest Fresno with what we know now about this investigation. Rick?
Of course, this is a major blow to the department and to the city. Federal investigators were following Deputy Chief Keith Foster for about a year now. They didn't reveal too much about the open investigation at the news conference earlier today, other than to say they have incriminating evidence against Foster. Fresno Police Chief Jerry Dyer says he did not know about the deputy chief's arrest until after it happened earlier today. 51-year-old Deputy Chief Keith Foster has long kept watch over the streets of Fresno. He's held the #2 spot in the police department for 8 years, and now he's locked up, facing federal drug charges. Fresno Police Chief Jerry Dyer acknowledging the massive impact an arrest like this will have.
When something like this happens, there is a tremendous impact that occurs on the organization, on the community, as well as the law enforcement profession, not only here in Fresno, but across the nation.
The FBI and ATF announced Deputy Chief Foster's arrest at a news conference today.
It started out under a business model that we're operating under, trying to reduce the violent crime involving firearms and armed drug trafficking, specifically in this case in the Fresno area.
Very few details about the open investigation were released.
The investigation has been fairly intensive, has involved considerable surveillance, numerous court orders authorizing the use of wiretaps to intercept telephone calls, and other investigative techniques.
Federal authorities kept the investigation under wraps from Fresno police until the arrest today. The revelation stunning to Chief Dyer, a close friend of Foster's for years.
As the police chief, I'm extremely shocked and disappointed at what has occurred with the arrest of Deputy Chief Keith Foster.
The chief also pointed out Foster's position of authority holds a lot of responsibility and trust that is now likely severely damaged. 3 others are also in custody in this case. Federal authorities say 41-year-old Rafael Guzman worked with Foster to distribute heroin. Foster's relative, 48-year-old Randy Flowers, is accused of conspiring to distribute oxycodone, and 35-year-old Jennifer Donabedian was arrested for conspiracy to distribute marijuana. 2 other arrest warrants have also been issued in this federal investigation. The deputy chief right now is on paid administrative leave. Chief Dyer tells me he's also been stripped of his peace officer duties for the time being, and he will have his first court appearance tomorrow. Reporting live in Northwest Fresno, I'm Rick Montanez, ABC 30 Action News.
All right, thank you, Rick. And again, federal investigators filed a criminal complaint against Deputy Chief Foster and the others today. Action News court reporter Corin Hoggard found a few important pieces of information from the court documents. Corin.
Graciela, this criminal complaint reveals much of what the FBI and the ATF did over the last year as they investigated Foster and a conspiracy to sell those different drugs. The bulk of the investigation started in November of last year when federal investigators started wiretapping Foster and 2 relatives believed to be involved in the drug trafficking operation. In December, investigators say the wire caught Foster telling Randy Flowers he had 100 of those things, which they understood to mean oxycodone pills. Agents later confirmed Foster picked up 100 pills at a local Rite Aid just before and then drove to Flowers' home and stayed there for 2 minutes. They believe Foster did the same thing a month later. Also in December, Foster asked a relative if he could get some units for his boy, and then they talked money. Investigators believe this was a transaction involving marijuana. And later that month, investigators say they intercepted a call between Foster and a known drug dealer, Rafael Guzman. They spoke in code, but after Foster said, "What's the ticket?" Guzman asked how good of clothes they want. Investigators say they continued to talk about China White, which is code for black tar heroin. The complaint also outlines drug activity between some of the other players in the alleged conspiracy. And remember, all of this is after federal investigators got the wiretap, which was already 4 months into their investigation. From the newsroom, Corin Hoggard, ABC 30 Action News.
Thank you, Corin. Keith Foster and his family are well known in Fresno. His family has a long tradition in Southwest Fresno. Action News reporter Cynthia Rose has more about Foster's history with the police department and his family ties. Cynthia?
Well, Warren, the Southwest Fresno Police Substation is named after Keith Foster's father. During his decades with the police department, Foster climbed the ranks all the way to second in command. Keith Foster has always been behind Police Chief Jerry Dyer at press conferences. And when Dyer is away, Foster and two other deputy chiefs rotated as top in command. For the past several years, Foster has led the patrol division, before that, investigations. The Foster family has had many successes, and Keith's soaring law enforcement career was one of the highlights. Whenever his family endured tough times, his boss and friend was always right beside him, even when Keith's nephew was shot by an officer in 2002.
But I have personal friends in the Foster family, and Keith Foster is one of my best friends. And so it's difficult for him, it's difficult for me, it's difficult for our entire department, and I know it's extremely difficult for the family.
The Foster family has also made headlines for the wrong reasons. In 2012, Foster's brother Patrick, a correctional officer, was arrested after officers said he was a getaway driver in a burglary at the Clovis Coles. When Eric Foster was killed in 2002 during an officer-involved shooting, Action News interviewed Randy Flowers. Flowers is also named in the FBI drug case along with Keith.
He wasn't like, he did his things, but he wasn't for sale a bad person.
For now, the police chief described his shock late Thursday by saying he is at a loss for words. Dyer has been in the process of planning to redeploy his top brass, at this point, one fewer. And Keith Foster has earned the highest award, the Medal of Valor, as a result of being shot in the line of duty. He will be arraigned tomorrow afternoon in federal court. Cynthia Rose, ABC 30, Action News.